Today you're going to learn about your last type of special equations called square roots. So you might remember this symbol from before. The square root of 64, you ask yourself, what number can you multiply by itself to get to 64? And the answer to that is 8, because 8 times 8 is 64. But if you get one like the square root of 13, there isn't a nice number that you can do in your head. So this one, we say, can't be simplified. So they're going to get a little harder, and this is where the variables come into play. I need to figure out what number had to go inside there so that when you take it out, you get 3. So just take a moment and think about it and see if you can come up with the number. And the answer is 9. So what's a good little trick to figure out what that number is? You can actually take this number and square it. And that will tell you what number was supposed to be inside there. So now you guys try this one. Pause your video. And the answer is 16. Because the square root of 16 is 4. Now they get a little harder. Think about what that entire square root needs to be. We can think about it by taking that number and squaring it. So we know that the whole number on the inside has to turn into 25, because that's what 5 squared is. And then I solve this like a regular old equation, and I get x is 24. And if you plug that back in, which is always a good strategy, you get 24 plus 1 is 25, and the square root of 25 is 5, and we know we got it right. Go ahead and pause your video and try this one. Did you get the right answer? Whoops. X is 13. If you didn't get the right answer, I'll do that question for you at the end of this video. And the last question is one step harder. I can't do this one in my head. What number would have to go in there? The whole thing has to become a 36, because the square root of 36 is 6. But that's a hard question, so I'm going to do that out. What makes 2x plus 1 turn into 36? And let's solve that. And I'm going to end up with, how about the right number? Not 25, but 35. Man, Misty. 35. Divide both sides by 2, and you get x is 35 halves. Probably not a number we were going to get in our heads. You could go ahead and stop the video. If you needed that last question done, you can go ahead and stay on. Otherwise, you can go ahead and do your homework. So I'm going to go ahead and do this last question for those that needed it. The square root of x minus 4 is 3. So if you missed that one, we're trying to make that into a 9. So what makes the inside become 9? And you get 13. Remember, you can watch these videos over and over. Sometimes seeing it a second time or a third time is super helpful. If you've got questions, we're going to be here to answer them.